All right, welcome back everybody to FTLG. We have a few more runs till the end of the marathon. But coming up here, we do have a SolSeraph any percent run by Mr. TigDwan, and we are so close to this 3,300-pound goal. If we can get it before the end of the marathon, that would be amazing. But without further ado, TigDwan, you want to take it away?
Yeah, hi, I'm TigDwan. I'm going to be playing SolSeraph, which is a kind of dual genre game with overworld sim, tower defense, and 2.5D platforming. So I'm ready to go when you are.
All right, I'm ready if you just want to give me the countdown.
Yeah. I'll do 3, 2, 1, go. 3,
right,
2, 1, go. And we're off. The game starts us off in the 2.5D platformer, basically doing a tutorial stage, telling us the different slashes and powers that we have. We're going to get through kind of avoiding enemies a lot of the time, although they do force us to kill this guy. Avoiding a lot of enemies, some damage abuse, and just jumping over them. That was not the right way to jump. Again, not the right way. Water physics. If they can find a way to combine water and ice physics, that'll be a wonderful day. I have to watch my health, actually, from all the damage there. I was going to grab that health, but I decided not to, which I may regret. Although, there are save points throughout this whole game, and it just saves, like, all the time. So even deaths are just not that costly. And right there, what I did was actually exit the game and come back in to avoid an animation of Helios, the main character, jamming his sword into the ground and then jumping up into the air. So it saves a couple seconds, and we do it 20, 30 times probably. So it adds up. Right now, since we just did the tutorial for the platforming, now they're having us do the tutorial for the tower building, tower defense sim section, which it just gave us the magic power to speed up everything, which is like the most important speed tech of the game. It's just had us build houses, farms, and the lumber mill, which give us our 3 resources, which are people, lumber, and food. Now it's just waiting for the first wave to come. It wants us to build barracks, but we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be using magic that lets us send, I guess, well, basically it lets us send ourselves down in a warrior form to attack the enemies. So we're going to let him or ourselves take out the first couple and go back up. Time to regenerate, set him back down, and now we're going to start to build. With these builds, we kind of want to do minimal amount of items to get the maximum effect. Right there, they're just telling us how to get rid of these dark clouds, which we use a shrine. A little early there. The next wave is going to start coming from both ends, which would normally be a surprise to if you're playing the first time. It's not really a surprise the 70th or 80th time around.
All right. Hey, Tig, you mind if I interrupt you for a second?
Not at all.
It looks like it's a little choppy on your end. Do you mind just looking at your OBS stats?
Let's see. It is showing some drop frames. Let's see what can be done about that.
Yeah, I did notice that as soon as you paused the game, it went back to being perfect. So it might be a computer, possibly not.
See.
Yep. If we need to, we can probably set it to like 720p on the stream.
I also try just
try
downshifting.
changing the... Yeah. Also, yeah, we need to pause the timer. Oh, you got that. Cool.
Yeah.
Is that doing better?
It's still a bit laggy. Does it look alright to anyone else, or is it anybody in chat just want to confirm if it's alright or not? Looks occasionally skippy on here. Yeah, still laggy.
Still laggy.
Yeah. We might just have to quickly change it to 720p 60 FPS if we could, which would mean that we'd have to restart, like stop streaming and start streaming again.
Okay.
Alright. We'll be back in a second, everyone.
Good.
Yeah, looks good. I will transition us back.
Okay.
All right, everyone. It looks like we've changed it there, so hopefully there is no more encoding lag. Looked good on the quick test that we did, so hopefully let us know in chat if it looks any better. Be able to just quickly check your stats, and if it's all good, we can continue.
Looking at just 0.2% dropping.
0.2. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it looks good on stream now at the moment as well. So hopefully we stay at that point.
All right.
Awesome. You can continue.
Yeah, well, so we basically are exactly where we left off because when you exit a wave, it makes you restart that wave. So we just started getting enemies attacking us from both sides and built up some small defenses over on the left side. Because again, we want to keep everything as few towers as we can so that we don't have to build houses for people, so we don't need tree, because you're managing all the resources. So right there, we had an enemy just hit our fire, which if they get 5 enemies to hit the campfire, you basically lose, and you just are sent back to the beginning of that wave again. So that can act actually as a buffer, which we will, it is used later in the speedrun intentionally. This is the last set of towers that I have to set up. Actually, no, there is one more tower. I lied already. Sorry. So now we just are basically getting souls from killing these enemies in the wave so that we can build shrines to get rid of the dark clouds, which uncover the lair levels that we have to beat. In this world, there are 5 lairs total that we have to beat to get to the final end boss of the entire world, which then we get to move on to one of the other 4 worlds. Just waiting on him hacking and slashing. Getting ready for the next wave. And the 2 characters in this world are basically a granddaughter and grandfather. The girl is asking him tons of questions, and he just wants to eat soup and sleep. Which is very relatable. That's the last shrine that we need to build. Bismarck's mentioning in chat, he's saying it's a spiritual successor to Turbo Tower Defense. It's a spiritual successor to ActRaiser. 100% to ActRaiser. That's why it wasn't going. The one time I'm not paying attention to those towers to see if they kill all those guys, and they don't kill them. So now we're going to be starting... that's actually a good question, Bismarck. I don't know if he ever gets that soup, because I don't pay attention to the dialogue. You played this game once, you should know. It was only 2 years ago when you played it. So there are 2 types of lairs. There is the first lair where we have these enemies in it that we just need to kill to clear out, and then there are layers that are basically levels, and each layer we do the skip to get out of it to avoid the piercing the ground animation, and we also want to be getting into the next layer as quickly as possible to avoid another animation that we will see in like 10 minutes. So hopefully I'll remember then to say that this is what we're trying to avoid each time. Each time we do avoid it, it saves us like 5 to 10 seconds, and I think it's done 17 times in the entire run, so it adds up. That right there was the hardest one to get, so it feels good to get that. Miss that. This is actually one of my favorite layers. It's really simple, but I don't know, I just find it really fun to go back and forth shooting the arrows. It's something that you don't really get to do in a lot of the other layers. Those you're just using the sword. And it's back-to-back basically my favorite layers, because this is my favorite of the layer levels. Partially because it's probably the first one, so it's slightly easier than the others, and since I've played it the most, I just kind of know what to do a lot more than the others, so it tends to go well. I say that now, and something horrible is going to happen. I don't like the end boss, though, I will say that. Because it's just not great for speedrunning. So, here it's basically knowing all these enemies, getting through them, only killing the ones that I need to kill to get to this boss, which I don't like it because it's each one of these little blobs you have to kill. They don't move in any real order, so it's a bit of RNG, and it's tedious. That's the best way I can describe it. It does fit in with the theme of this world, because they're supposed to be basically blobs of sap. And the main boss of this world is the King of Trees. Had to intentionally get hit by that fish there so that I would be able to swing the sword again to kill him. So by hitting me, he leads to his own death. I just had enough magic there. That can sometimes be tight. Just a little more cleanup here. This guy just runs into my sword, basically. So here is the final boss guy. Oh, and we actually get to see that's kind of what it does. We don't rush that one because it can actually soft lock the game. If we're feeling bold, we'll do it in the speed run, which I mean really, currently it is only me who runs this game, so I could say I in every situation. Sin is one of the other runners from the past who I doubt he will come back. He plays the original ActRaiser, which this is heavily inspired by, and seems to prefer that a lot more. Although I don't think he wants to admit that he likes this more than the new ActRaiser Revelation. The theme song, the music in this game, I don't know the name of the person who does it, but the person who does the theme song did the theme song to ActRaiser. Yuzo Koshiro, I think is his name. So there's a little bit of like enemy RNG with these grasshoppers. We want them to kind of take a direct approach to us so that we can slash them, especially here, because we can fall off this platform. And the platform also does, there's some weird physics with moving platforms that, like, if you jump off of them, you just are rocketed forward. There are a couple ledges where that happens too. So we have the King of Trees first kind of boss fight. Pretty simple when you know what to do. It reminds me of Capri Sun. And he's dead. So we pick up magic from him, which he gives us as healing magic, and which hopefully I don't have to use in the entire run because it's slow. So we could go to any one of there are 4 other worlds besides that, and we can go to any one in any order that we want to. However, for speedrunning purposes, it's always kind of been the same order. There have been a few, like I've had a few attempts of trying to change them up a little bit, but nothing has ever been better than this kind of original order that I think goes back to the only other runner, which I will think of his name in a minute. I know it's a Z. It's hard to think of a name when I'm trying to dodge all these enemies. Scarab. This wizard. I want him to stay out of the way. See, he got my grill. Now, the dragon didn't come down far enough, so I wasn't able to hit him. We are exiting the game. I was getting ready to split there, but I don't need to. We are entering the Sikh Desert, which has Arda and Zhen, which, for casual play, are my 2 favorite people of the game. For speedrunning, no. Oh yes, Zeph and Halo. See, I knew it was a Z. I really enjoy these 2 for just casual. They have a nice kind of like bickering quality to where I imagine that they had a, you know, hot and heavy relationship in their younger days. But that's just my fanfic. But they're not as great for the speedrun because they never shut up. And they interrupt quite a bit. Which I really, the interruptions are more the problem because I'm trying to use the speed magic as much as possible. So for this wave, I mentioned that we have 5 hits that we can take. There are only 4 enemies, so we can let them all run to the fire. And that basically gives us time to build up some lumber. Shoot. Didn't want to click off that quite yet. So now we're having enemies start to come from elsewhere in the map. Getting ready for an interrupt message. We have a new building that we can use, which is the well. This is the only time it's used in the game. I don't even actually know if it is useful anywhere but the desert. So now we have the bottom setup finished. Have to immediately get ready to put the second setup. And setting up these towers actually can be one of the harder things of the run. Because it gets in your head. It plays mind games with you if you're getting off the grid. And it really bothers my OCD. Like right there, I didn't get a perfect placement, and that's going to eat at me. What was my hot take, Bismarck? My theory on Arda and Zhen? There is obvious sexual tension in their back and forths. There we have Zhen dancing with the dog. Dog does come back. Oh, we will hear much about dog in the next world. So much. So much.
Alright. Do we have a moment I could talk about our charity? So here at FTLG, we are raising money for Haven House Children's Hospice. Haven House Children's Hospice cares for seriously ill babies and children by creating a loving and warm environment for them and their families while they go through the toughest of times. No family should have to face alone in the difficulties of looking after a child with a serious illness. Although we cannot change their diagnosis, our specialist care team are here to provide support to parents and carers who have children with complex medical needs. Many of our children need 24-hour care and supervision. We are a lifeline for these families, supporting them through their child's illness. We are here for the whole family, including moms, dads, brothers, sisters, and grandparents. Once again, we are almost at that 3,300-pound mark, and we are getting close to the end of the marathon. If we can hit that for it, it'd be great. But back to you.
Yeah, when I saw the charity for this, I thought that was an awesome pick. It's not a type of charity that you would normally think about, but it's super important and incredibly noble. So through this entire thing, we've had these skeletons that we had to knock down 3 times before they die. And then finally at the end, we unlock a building that can knock them down in 1 hit. Which it's technically not the game being evil. Because if we had gone to a different world, we would have unlocked them sooner. They're called magic towers. But the routing, again, this desert is... We've never found a route where this desert is not the best place to go second, because you get lightning here in the desert, and we use lightning all over the other parts of the run. Okay, should be... Oh, right. Guy's still gonna be there. So now we start with the Seek Desert Lairs, which have skeleton guys in them. Although you only have to kill them twice. Although I guess they're skeletons, they're already dead. I have a bit of a pet peeve with the floating skulls. Because they don't have any muscle, so I don't know how they work. I don't have a pet peeve with the skeletons, so I was laughing at myself, realizing that there's a contradiction in my logic. So the kind of the 2.5D stuff I like a lot of for this game. I like the kind of that there are enemies in the background, some of them that you can't attack. Actually, I have to interrupt my own thought there. This is the one skip in the game that we cannot, like, it's just too far to get. So we use speed up magic to make it as quick as possible. And I think that was a strategy that Sen developed. It's hard for me sometimes to remember which one of us developed the strategy. Because it basically was just me and him for a long time, going back and forth, and then we got sub 130s, and then I got sub 125, and he stopped chasing it at that point. And I'm currently trying to get sub 115. I'm at 117 exactly. And the sum of best is just below 115, or yeah. So I need to get it lower before the actual having a shot at that time is possible. I don't care for this layer. And usually if I say that I don't care for a layer, it's because it's hard to do. I'm not sure if there are any, like, hard layers that I, say that, oh yeah, that's really hard, but I really like it. Actually, that's not true. I can think of one. there is one in Mount Agner that it's really hard, but it's fun. So with the lairs, another kind of thing is that they have, I could make a homonym joke about the lairs have layers of enemies. That's terrible. I apologize. Oh god. That was awful. This lair here, I like the little bugs, but it combines the awfulness of these, having to knock these skeletons down twice, with this enemy here, the wizard. Or I call them wizardrogues a lot of the time. That just get to go wherever they want. Can be very problematic. They're one of the bigger RNG components of the game. Parenting is hard. It is. Oh god. No, okay. You're not referencing what I think you're referencing, the thing that... Oh no, I did mention that in Sin's Discord, so you could be referencing that. I'm gonna keep it an inside joke, though. So, we have the wizards following us through this entire level. They are only 2 wizards in this level, but they just track you down the whole way. It's, great for them. Boss for here, Queen of Bones. I am bothered by... I don't know how the anatomy works. She also has no eyes. She's one of the RNG bosses. Does these tail swipes, and we want her to only do 2 of them because we need 2 to get in basically enough hits. Oh no! And we also want her to come up on the right side of us. So I should have made that clearer so that she would have known exactly what I wanted. There's just something, when you get behind her, the game just does not want you to be able to kill her. That should have been moving faster. We're heading over to Mount Agner. Agner Act 1, so we just got lightning magic, which we will make use of in this level later on. Introduction of some new enemies, those blue somethings that just come at you swinging a club, never changing course, no matter what's in front of them. You gotta give it their dedication, even if it's certain doom. Also have those background, I don't know, they kind of remind me of from Ghostbusters. When, not Gozer, but when Dana Barrett and Louis Tully turned into dogs. They're not the right color, but they're the right shape. So, using lightning gives you basically 1 hit of invincibility, which we have used quite a bit. Out of the game. Now we have Perkunas and Plato here in Mount Agner. I mentioned that a dog would come back into play, and it will, with Plato constantly whining that she wants a dog. She also wants there to be these bridges That's basically what I'm waiting for. Which seems like a horrible idea because their little town was safe until she requested these bridges be built, which now the wave of monsters can come and attack them. So she's the daughter of the leader of the village, so I assume that she's eventually going to be the leader after him. And she has terrible ideas like building bridges so that enemies can get to their village. Special part of the game. Watching to see if Helios misses any of these swipes. Oh, he got it, so I can't shame him. She's talking about that she has a strange dream. I don't have time to listen to any of that. This is one of the... I go back and forth on if this is one of the more extensive builds or if this is actually the third most extensive. It just said that we unlocked a building, which is this lumber mill. And the benefit of a lumber mill is that if you build farms within its borders, those farms produce twice as much food. Which is actually a really nice benefit that we make use of. Now I just have to build a lot of towers and one barrack. So this is the first appearance of barracks in the run. With barracks, it's just people on the ground that have swords and attack. They do a little more damage than the archery towers, but they die more frequently, so they're really not out on the field of battle as long. So for speedrunning, it usually balances out, but there are a couple places where they really are helpful. So now, towers are all built here. Just have to deal with the last couple of waves, putting down Helios where we want him to. Kind of working around the messages from the two people that are interrupting us. Tried to go a little too quickly there. Talking about if she had a puppy, she would train it. Watch for Helios to go up. Hopefully came close to sinking, but it was a bit off. If he had gone up a little earlier, it would have been perfect to sync with Percunus telling us that he wants to help train the villagers to battle because he feels he wants to help with the battling. Which I'm sure he will forever be on our side. That's foreshadowing. Foreshadowing for about 10 seconds from now. So we have 3 more shrines after this. So right there. Last wave he was talking about how he wants to help train people, and then there he's saying, will these attacks never end? He's a good guy. This is probably the most chaotic wave in the entire run. It will look like everything's going wrong, but it's under control. Although the music's not starting over, so I'm a bit unhappy about that. You can get like enough chaos going, the game just restarts the music loop, and that's just a good feeling. Check on Helios. Hurry up, please. It's actually doing a good job attacking the fire thrower. Second. It's back down. And eating clouds is how... So putting Helios down uses magic, which is in the top left. That bar is our magic bar. And we eat clouds to restore that. That was odd. We got the souls. We got the 16 souls really quickly. Actually makes me wonder. Yeah, no, I definitely hit the bottom one. So that's the final wave. Just waiting for all the enemies to be killed. One of the things about this game is that the enemies that you see in the overworld portions, the tower defense simulations, will appear inside the levels. So they're kind of a preview of what's to come. Which I think is actually more related to how this game was originally intended. In some of the concepts for the game, they actually had it to where you would be going directly down during the waves to do these kind of side-scroll levels. Which actually, I wish SolSeraph had been more successful so that they could have done a second one that was more like that, just to see what it was like. But SolSeraph is a bit obscure. It was kind of panned by runners of ActRaiser, and I think that their reward for panning it was ActRaiser Renaissance, and hours and hours and hours of tower defense, which is, I'm sure, exactly what they wanted, versus, you know, very reasonable amounts of tower defense here. I want to say that the ActRaiser Renaissance speedrun is, what's that, like 5 hours? 5 hours long? This is almost at 1:15. What's going on there, guys? You have so many more players trying to figure out all the strats for it. It's just me here. Could it be that one of the games is just better designed? I have played the original, the SNES ActRaiser. I did play it one time, all the way through. I enjoyed it, the original one. ActRaiser 2 for the SNES is awful. I hated it. I don't think I beat it, because I hated it. You move so incredibly slowly. Okay, the Angel and ActRaiser Renaissance, they really kind of ooh-oohed it up. Earlier when I mentioned that I wouldn't like anything that was difficult, this is what I was thinking about when I said that there is actually some stuff that's difficult that I like. Oh my god, we didn't get hit there. Then we get stuck here. Because two things can't go right in a row. I'm not exactly sure why the lava doesn't instantly kill us. I'm just glad that it doesn't. There, you gotta see the healing magic. Lava is hot. I think I read that on Wikipedia. So, although I do really like the level, I do not like the NV bosses. I have no problem with the guy that just, you know, yeets fire at us. Not a fan. Oh, barely got into that. Oh, and here we have one of the scariest levels in the entire game. This is the level that is easiest to die on. This is fun. Have a very specific damage boost and make very specific use of lightning. Okay, that's one of the scariest parts right there. That was good. That was not great, but we're still alive. But we are not out of the woods yet. They did not give us any sort of save spot. Thanks, game. We have the King of Fire here, and depending on the pattern he gives, although I'm not really going for a world record here, so I don't have to risk it. And it looks like he is actually giving it the one where he might have come down to where we could sword slash him. Yeah, if I went closer to the ledge, I could have gotten some sword slashes in, but that would have given him a chance to just knock us off the edge. Unfortunately, I didn't get in there. There's a few places in there that you can kind of glitch it out and take no damage. Nimipedia. More water physics. Oh, that could be bad. That's fine. In the Arunan Isles. Lots of frogs. So these back, I can't think of what they'd be called really, because I don't pay attention to the tutorial section, so I don't know what the game intends them to be called. Back dashes are incredibly helpful in the water because they're not actually really affected by the water physics. Ugh, these heads, they're gonna come back to haunt us. And we have a raid from Sinstream. The most recent person to run this game other than me. But that was, last time you ran it, Sin, was 2 years ago. I was looking back at it.
Alright, do I have a moment to talk about the charity? Alright, we could talk about it for the raiders coming in right now. Here at FTLG, we are raising money for Haven's House. Haven House provides round-the-clock care at our hospice, surrounded in beautiful grounds and woodland in Woodford Green, and through our outreach services in the home and local community. We provide daycare, overnight stays, end-of-life care, bereavement support, as well as life-enriching activities such as sensory play, music therapy, and physiotherapy. We provide care and support where and when our family need us. Hospice care does not mean that a child is near the end of their life. We are here from the time a devastating diagnosis is made to help our families have the choice, quality of life, and to make most of the precious time they have together. And then, like I said earlier, we are very close to that 3,300 pound goal, and there isn't much time of the charity left. It is ending tonight. I think we have 4 runs after this one.
Yep.
But yeah, any little bit of help helps, or even just sharing the word, lurking, and watching the stream helps immensely.
Yeah, get those donations in. Since we are doing another area, we get to set up a whole nother defense. And looking at my stream profile, it seems that I'm a big fan of tower defense. Like the top 6 were all tower defense. I wouldn't have, like, if you had asked me what genre I like, I would not have thought about that. But it's true, I do really enjoy it. Okay, so we're going to be trying to build all the roads that we can here. Just to get them out of the way, and so that they are completing while we're doing all kinds of other stuff. Because the roads do not build instantly. They kind of go one little square at a time. Because for some reason we can't use the roads that are already there. Seems like the kind of the third wave in all of these is the most hectic. It's about when all the final towers are getting put down, and when they really kind of kick up the number of enemies coming at us. Okay, that wasn't bad menu. Well, it was bad menuing. I had the right angle. Just the wrong menu. Was on the path. And I'm glad that you're admitting which game did it first and better. To at least some portions. I mean, this obviously how do you say delicately? Stole a lot of ideas from ActRaiser. It's funny what you can do when you say that it was inspired by. And this game is by the Sega Ace team, so it's weird for me to play it because although we had the Genesis growing up, I have always been a Nintendo person. And ActRaiser, I think it was that Nintendo only? It was definitely one of the early launch titles for the SNES. Permanently borrowed. That's another nice euphemism. So one of the reasons we have no barracks here for the Ruinen Isles is because of the water going up and down. How do you get through there? Which, if there are guys on the ground, they just kind of float up to the top. But if the water goes up to the towers, they are just above water level, so they never lose the ability to attack. And none of the frogs, yeah, basically everything in this is a frog, can attack any of our archers, so we don't have to worry about where we're putting houses and how far the guys have to run if they die. just makes everything really nice and easy. Any of the groundwork we have Helios do. Or I come in and use lightning. That is the last of the shrines that we have to put up. Now we go into the most RNG intensive layers of the game because not of the enemies at the beginning. It'll be the second wave that will have the heads. Okay, that was nice. The crab guys, if they go down, they hunker down in their shell, I don't know if they actually take any damage. They, at the very least, they take highly reduced damage. So, it's actually best to kind of hit them from behind while they're up. That was actually not terrible head RNG. And in the water here, we start making use of the lightning magic since it's water. It hurts every enemy that is in the water. It actually also hurts you, but it's worth it. You're not supposed to get me there. To get on the other side of him. I recently had issue with that in a run that killed it. More heads. Not terribly great that I had to use all of the magic there. But if this head is nice, we had enough. It's actually not too bad there either. They can be incredibly jerky if they decide to head upwards, kind of out of your range. Cause you to use up all of the magic ability you have, and then you just have to sit there. I will complain about these the giant flower enemies. I don't understand why they have eyes. If I could talk to the creative team, I'd ask what purpose those eyes serve. Because they're a stationary plant. A little worried I wasn't going to get that layer skip. I like the design of these big red frogs because they have really tiny eyes. But it's kind of the opposite of actual frogs. Not to mention their giant tongues and teeth. So there's some background enemies that I'm triggering. Also like the frogs flying on the kind of little mice, I guess they're supposed to be. So there are a lot of enemies in the Arunan Isles that I like. It's just, I absolutely hate these heads. Because they, here, like right here, this guy is being a jerk. Tiny eyes, all the better to see you with. The plants have giant eyes, the frogs have tiny eyes. Gonna use a lot of lightning abuse here. And just running into guys. Powering through it. Part of the reason for coming to the Arunan Isles 4th is that it gives us, we have developed kind of more health so that we're actually able to kind of power through these and just take the damage. So there is like the areas you go to, if you go to them later, it's actually based on how much life you have, but what is in some of the levels changes just slightly to make them, basically make them a little more difficult if you have a lot more life and things like that. And another reason that we come to Arunan Isles 4th is because some of the things that make it more, that try to make it more difficult actually make it easier to speedrun. Which will be coming up in the final level here. Oh, didn't get the fast donation, or the fast speed there.
All right. It looks like we did get a donation coming in. We got a donation from Nem, who donated 13 pounds and 37, saying, "These eyes are only for you." And that brings our total up to 3,275 pounds and 37, I think it's cents. I'm not entirely sure.
I think it would be pence.
Pence, okay. All right, thank you. Which means we're less than 25 pounds away from the 3,300 goal.
I'm not sure what the 37 is there for. If not to just drive me crazy, that it's not a rounded number. It's not rounded to the pound.
I think they wanted it to be an elite donation with
1337. Yeah. King of Floods, one of the most pathetic bosses in the entire game. We beat him so quickly he can't even use his magic. And just reaches out his hand for help. I'm not hip with the you know, the your young talk. Vale of Yag. We saved this for last for a reason, because it's brutal. The first time I saw this game played was by Bismarck, and he came to the Vale of Yag as his first level right after the Plains of Weedu. He struggled. Which, I would never advise anybody to come to the Vale of Yag first. Although I have actually tried it as a routing tactic, because you get a really good building here. You get cattle farms, which give you twice the food production that farms do. But it's it doesn't really save enough time, and it's really difficult on low health to actually get through that first level. So I wanted to have all this built out before they had that interrupt message. So I need to have... That should be good. Oh. Actually, so I needed to have those... Oh, God. Did it just give us a point? It gave us a We Do Wrong warp. So, right there, I exited just out to the main world. And It even though I should have been right over the Vale of Yegg, the game for some reason has you registered over the plains of Weedu, and so you just go back down into there, which is why we normally exit all the way out of the game when we're doing the skips on these first levels to avoid that plains of Weedu skip. I got cocky.
All right, and we do have another £5 donations from Miriam's. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Sorry if I butchered that name. That says, in celebration of Sin's Lufia 2 Ancient Cave PB tonight. And Tig's okay too, I guess.
Oh, congratulations, Sin, that you completed the cave. I enjoyed watching you going through the cave while I was nervously waiting for my run. Actually, so yeah, the reason that we went to the overworld there was to trick the game into building all the roads out. Otherwise, we have to wait, and it slows us down because there are just so many roads. This is a very kind of spaced out area. Have enough of these towers built that it kills those hog riders. Need to come over and kill this guy because I don't want him to get to Black Cloud, because then I can't actually do any damage to him while he's in there. So it eats up time. First use of the War Totem there in the run, which that it's a recent actual addition strategy. It gives the towers double speed. So basically one tower gives you the power of 2. If I was on a good pace, it would be more difficult to talk through this this sim. But this is definitely, this sim it's. See, I'm struggling. You have to be all over the place on this one. Oh, right, insufficient food because built the third one over here. They missed a tree. That actually could be bad. That made me miss a Helios placement. So yeah, one of the problems with the game, if you miss one little thing in the building, it really throws you off, which I mean I guess is true with any speedrun. One thing since we skip over so much of the story, the 4 other areas, all of the people in them are kind of, they're more lighthearted. There's a bit of dark humor, but they're mostly pretty just, you know, kind of funny back and forth. The people here in the Vale of Yegg are incredibly depressing. Like, it's just it is not at all happy. There's no real jokes in it. They're not having fun. Coming up to the last... Oh, no. I got on the... Oh, no. No, this... this is the last one. I just have the order wrong of where I should build the shrines, which could be a bit of a problem. because I want to enter this one first. Finally, somebody got it to an even dollar amount. Thank you.
Yes, we did. We got a donation from Meowing Kitty, donating $19.63, saying, fine, Tig, I'll fix it, but only because I care about your mental well-being. And that brings us to 3,300 pounds, right on the dot. But there is still more of the marathon. There is still time to donate. Any little bit helps, and we really appreciate any sort of help we can get for this really good cause.
Nemesis with pounds into kilos joke. I mean, if you're looking to lose some weight, you can donate some pounds here. If we're going for horrible jokes.
And I feel I should mention for anyone that maybe just came in, the charity that we're raising money for is Haven's House. Haven's House isn't just about end-of-life care. The hospice is often a happy and fun place where young people can live life to the full. Haven House is where families feel safe, at home, and where they can spend quality time together, enabling parents to be parents and not caregivers. Care delivery can take place in a variety of settings, including at home and in the hospice. Care and support is provided by specialist nurses, healthcare support workers, counselors, play specialists, music therapists, physiotherapists, and family support workers.
So, one of the things back in the Arena Isles, the magic that we unlock is the ability to put a bunch of water on the screen, which for a really long time was never used in any of the speedruns until just a couple of months ago, actually, realizing that can be paired really well with lightning. Unfortunately, it only seems to pair well here in the Vale of the Egg. So, the hopes that it would revolutionize how we do all of the levels was kind of that was dashed. The reason it doesn't work on Mount Agnir because all of the eagle or the dragons actually fly above the water, so they don't take any damage. It was very disappointing to find that out. Not in the least part because it took 40 minutes to go into the game, play through it to find that out. You shouldn't have been still alive. Sin showing off one of my favorite emotes in all of Twitch. It officially was the emote that I used the most in 2021. So they really ramp up how many enemies are in this. Although it's still just 2 wizards right now that are causing us a bunch of heartache. This hole here, one of the reasons this is any percent is because we avoid these things called weather mana upgrades that you find in these act levels. And if you fall into that hole, it will close up and you'll have to face a boss to get one of those weather mana upgrades. And that has happened and ruined a PvE to me. Didn't happen for the longest time, but it finally had to happen. This is another RNG boss, Queen of Ice. Really difficult boss if you don't have lightning, but lightning triggers her to come down, do a swoop attack at you, and since you get the one hit of invulnerability with the lightning, she just goes through you. So I'm not exactly sure if that was like intended by the developers or if it's just a happy accident. But she was fairly good there. She can sometimes back off and shoot ice at you, and it just takes seconds off the run. Heading into Erebus, which some of these names here do come from actual mythology. I know Erebus is one of them. Helios is obviously from Greek mythology. Can you count that out right? Spider jump. That was like the first spider jump I figured out running this, so I always mention it. Giant naked trolls. They are obviously naked. They are not wearing pants. I will not agree with any other runner who claims that they are wearing pants. So now we're basically at Krakow from Kirby's Adventure. I don't know if that was if they were directly inspired by that game as well. Here we have the nightmare fuel enemies, these birds. Not only, they kind of remind me of Jack Nicholson, face-wise, which is kind of terrifying, but they also explode when you hit them twice. So they're a pile of fun. Concentrate a bit on this next part. It's this elevator. Will really get you. Like that. Once you get off, oh, this is lovely. It's kind of freeing though, not being in a, trying for a PB attempt, and being able just to kind of sit back a little bit. Nuts. Still fine health-wise. Coming up to they're very tickled when they named this. This is the Night of Dusk, and we are Helios, the Night of Dawn. Fairly easy fight, actually. If you do it quickly enough, which just depends on if you can get kind of a good rhythm going with these swings. Because he does this where he's gonna basically try to call Krakow. I'm gonna call him again, but doesn't have enough time. So here is an exit that we have to be careful about because we're skipping a large segment where we would have budget rate Morgan Freeman telling us about the story a little bit. And if you don't wait long enough, you end up back in the cutscene. But we are on Nyx, We have basically a boss rush to go. Then we're going to fight Chaos, talk to some people, and then that's going to be GG. In the upcoming boss rush, I'm going to go to the King of Fire first, because he is the boss that we are most likely to die on. And if you die on any of these bosses, you have to start all of them all over again. So we're going to give him a nice mani-pedi. He is being very, very accommodating on that, being in the right position. He's dead, but his toes, they look lovely. A little bit off there on the King of Floods. He's still not going to have a chance to use his magic. Pretty sloppy King of Floods, if I'm being honest. Now we head into the 2 RNG fights. Queen of Ice. So they're shooting ice at us. Have to wait a little bit for her to move. There she goes. She can be... This fight is... She's much more likely to do this, where she shoots the ice. I think it has something to do with how close you get to her. I just haven't quite figured it out. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Hope for a 2-cycle redemption on the Queen of Bones. We have plenty of health, so we can just tank that. No, she's not going to give us a 2-cycle. Or the 3-cycle, going 4. Jerk. Back to the King of Trees. He's slightly more difficult this time just because the blobs have more of a chance to hit you, but he's pretty easy as a boss. Although, if you are really low in health and forget right there, this is the animation that we skip throughout the thing, those last blobs can come back and get you. Which I wasn't thinking about, but luckily I had plenty of health. This is the Chaos fight. It's actually rather anticlimactic in my opinion, but I don't mind that in a speed run. I really don't. So the tactic here is to just stay really close to him, slash at his crotch, just stay on him. If you're close into him, those kind of plasma balls or whatever they are can't get you. You're in a perfect position to really slash at him. Just gotta wait for him to jump away, and we are getting good RNG with him not trying to call a shadow monster. I say that, he immediately calls a shadow monster. Though it was pretty far into the end of the fight, so that went fairly well. We just have to talk to about 6 or 7 people. And then we'll have GG. I'll mention when it's coming up. Time will stop on the last text box, which will be in the Arena Isle. I'll point that out. We don't have any time to listen to what they're talking about. I will mention, though, that Plato, who constantly whined for a dog, does get a dog there. The dog's name is Quo-Quo. Okay, so time will stop now. and that is SolSeraph. And now we get to hear
So it was that Helios, Knight of Dawn,
budget rate Morgan Freeman.
child of man and God,
All right, GG's. Thank you for the run. Really,
finally drove chaos.
really interesting to see. I love seeing like the two. It was like two different styles of games in one.
Well knows and Dehanu, and all other friends.
But yeah, did you have any last minute things you wanted to say where everyone could find you?
I stream regularly on Twitch at TigDwan. There isn't a Discord specifically for SolSeraph because I'm the only active runner. But there is the Sega Ace has a Discord, and you can find some resources on SRC, or and through SRC you can message me if you have any interest in running it. I can give you plenty of pointers. I would love it if other people ran this.
Is entirely up to us. That is the gift Helios gave us. And that
All right. Well, thanks again, and we do have another run coming up. We're going to see struggling here right after we go to break.
Thank you very
thanks
much
again
for having me.
Oh, and your final time on the timer was 1 hour 19.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess you did stop the timer when it was going to the break, or when we were resetting the stream.
Yeah, we had the little bit of technical difficulties, but overall seemed like a good run from my perspective.
Yeah, it actually did go pretty well. One thing, the final thing I would like to say, since we're not going to be watching the credits, I always point out Traffic Manager and Nami. It's just a meme thing. So that's the last thing I have to say. Thank you very much for having me.
GG. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank
By
you.
all means, we hope you submit again.
I'd love to.
Up next, we have the wonderful Sparky McCalc playing Struggling, hosted by Hammerhead Labs, joined by one of the developers, or he may be the only developer, who knows, we'll find out soon. So stay tuned, guys.